co-founder of Vedantu, and I'm super excited today to introduce you all to the first edition of VTopia. That's Vedantu's take on Utopia, an imaginary state of things in which everything is just perfect. Today is not just about the imaginary state though. It's about sharing with you how Vedantu reimagined the future of education by completely disrupting the way learning is imparted and made this perfect but imagined future of education a real possibility. Right from the beginning, we had this one vision: to inspire every child in this world to find their true potential and thereby creating impact at scale. To ensure that every child has access to the most inspired and the best teachers in our country, no matter where the child comes from. And so in 2014, we created this entire new category of live online learning, which enabled a whole new way of learning for millions of students. What was disruptive was that while most tools at that time were made for mere video conferencing, Vedantu's Wave totally reimagined the way an online learning class can happen. Since 2014, Wave has not just been used to teach millions of students, but also has inspired countless other products and innovations which today reach millions more. Let's take a look at the sheer impact we have created over the years. Last year alone, 280 million students visited Vedantu. On our YouTube channels, last year we had 500 million views. Well, since our inception, Wave has been used by around 4,000 teachers to teach 24 million students for around 70 million hours. And these students come from 7,300 cities and towns. That's almost 92% of the total cities and towns in the country. Who would have thought that in doing all this, we would one day live in a world where our teachers from anywhere in the country would actually earn more than the software engineers right here in Bangalore. We are here to change the paradigm of online learning itself. Keeping our students at the heart of it all, we are challenging every boundary and assumption that's centuries old to completely disrupt and create 10x better teaching and learning experience. When we introduced Wave in 2014, we started off by trying to make Wave 10x better than the best offline learning experience that existed. But today, we are going to launch something that will push the boundaries even further and set whole new benchmarks for what the future of learning will look like. Today, we are going to launch Wave 2.0, Vedantu's next generation live learning platform that will reimagine and revolutionize what learning can be. Now, turning it over to someone I am proud to call my friend, my co-founder, and the brain behind Wave, Pulkit.
Thanks, Vamsi. Even after all these years, I still get goosebumps every time we talk about this dream. A big and warm hello, everyone. I'm Pulkit, co-founder and head of new initiatives and culture at Vedantu. I can't tell you how excited I am to see you all here at VTopia. Vamsi spoke of impact at scale, the one thing that drives everything else at Vedantu. It's also the biggest unsolved challenge at the heart of education anywhere in the world. Because scale and personalization are inversely proportional to each other. When one goes up, the other comes down. So the riddle is, how do we achieve both without compromising on any of the two? And that's why we invented Wave 2.0, our patented technology platform that was designed not just to make learning 10x better. And by that we mean not just 10x more engaging, more effective, more predictable, and more personalized, but also make this quality of transformative learning available at the fraction of the cost so that millions of students could benefit. Easier said than done, because disruption of this magnitude calls for a deep commitment to innovation. So innovation we did right from the ground up. Today, Wave has 5 patents filed and 1 patent already granted in the US. But what about accessibility? In a country like ours, high-speed internet has still not reached everywhere. And that's why we designed Wave 2.0 in such a way that even while delivering the highest quality content, it uses 40% lesser bandwidth than other platforms. No wonder 60 to 70% of all our students come from tier 3 and 4 towns, and around 60% of Vedantu's class actually happen on mobile devices. This is why Wave 2.0 is a true innovation for Bharat, an innovation that ensures every child, regardless of her socioeconomic status and geographical location, would always have access to learning that would not just transform her life, but at a certain level also transform the future of our community and our country as a whole. Honestly, this is what impact at scale means to us. It's not about what we are making, it's about what we are making possible. Alright, time to take a look at Wave 2.0, the world's most advanced technology platform that is creating a dent in the whole ecosystem by making online not just the new way to learn, but the best way to learn. Just like Wave disrupted and created an entirely new category of live online learning, Wave 2.0 will once again disrupt and set a whole new standard for how live online learning can be fun, engaging, personalized, and done at an unimaginably massive scale. Presenting the world's largest, most engaging, and most effective classroom of its kind. Presenting Wave 2.0. Come, let's have a look. How does it feel? Fabulous, right? This isn't about taking centuries-old offline learning and just blindly bringing it online, like many have done since COVID. It's about using technology with Wave 2.0 to make learning 10x more engaging, more personalized, more predictable, and therefore more effective. We have been at it since 2014. We pioneered and invested in the multi-teacher model so that every student felt like the first bencher, no matter how far apart the child was. We ensured that her learning experience always remained highly personalized. But we couldn't have done this without first deeply understanding each and every child. In a class of hundreds, no teacher alone is capable of understanding every individual child's level of engagement, understanding, and involvement. Again, that's where Wave 2.0 is at its best. For the first time in human history, we are now able to measure with mathematical precision how deeply each and every child amongst the hundreds is actually engaging with the class. It's also why for the first time in history, Vedantu teachers now have the opportunity to fine-tune and personalize their teaching in real time, instead of waiting for 6 months for exams to tell them how the child has been faring. With this kind of understanding, our teachers can provide just the right nudge to the right student at the right time. Something that was never possible before. Okay, let's dig a little deeper. 10 years back, when I used to teach an offline class of 30-40 students, even then, it wasn't possible for me to understand each and every student and deliver personalized learning to them.
Today, our classes have hundreds of students. What was already a problem with 30-40 students now started to look like an impossible one to solve, with the class size growing exponentially.
What happens to our mission of creating an impact at scale? Would we personalize for few but sacrifice scale? Or would we scale but sacrifice personalized learning?
We wanted both. Compromising with either was as good as compromising with our entire reason to exist. So we turned to technology. We pioneered a first of its kind multi-teacher model, where a master teacher along with class teachers together ensure that every single child gets individual attention and students' doubts are solved almost instantaneously during the class. Amazing, right? Let's see how we actually do it.
Any doubts? Let's take them in the next class.
ओके बच्चों, सबका डाउट सॉल्व करेंगे.
Imagine this, world's largest classroom, but still every student gets to be a first bencher.
To know more, let's hear from Supreet.
With its proprietary and patented algorithms, Wave 2.0 creates multiple sections within each class so that master teachers and class teachers can mentor each and every student irrespective of the class strength, all in real time.
So we've seen what a multi-teacher model does to make every student feel like a front bencher. But that alone isn't enough. The challenge is to not let them get bored or distracted. But that's what happens in an offline classroom where the teacher just talks at the class and it all feels like one-way traffic.
Exactly. So with all the children online, how does a teacher create the most fun and engaging learning experience instead of this one-way traffic? Possible? Let's find out.
In which year was the Indian Constitution written?
याद है, ये कल ही पढ़ा था.
Go for it, बच्चों. Which one is the right answer?
Hi guys. So guys, कैसा लगा क्लास?
With features such as augmented reality and learning activities that use gestures such as drag and drop, no classroom has ever been designed and built with this level of engagement.
For the first time in the history of Web 2.0 has made learning this interactive, where every few minutes the child has to do something, answer a question, take a quiz, etc. It's so interactive that no child would ever want to skip a class. Honestly, it's hard to tell if this is a class or a game. We have come a long way from one-way traffic.
So we made learning highly interactive. But it wasn't all fun and games. While we wanted to make learning 10x more fun, we also wanted to make learning 10x more predictable and effective. But just think about this. In our entire history of classroom education, we could never measure with mathematical precision how deeply a student was engaged in the class. How was the engagement varying? How effective was the teacher? And how deep was the learning outcome? And hence, answer to questions like, hey, how was the class? How was the teacher? Has always been good, bad, or boring. Very subjective. No actionable at all. So, you can't improve what you can't measure. Again, this is where Wave 2.0 works like magic. The power of Wave lies in its groundbreaking ability to capture 100 plus parameters in real time. And our patented algorithms using AI and ML then deliver precise insights through face recognition, content measurement, tone and sentiment analysis, and much, much more. And all these insights then convert into applications that ensure effectiveness of learning for every student at a massive scale. Sounds exciting? Let's watch.
रोहन पहले डिवीजन फिर मल्टीप्लिकेशन समझे?
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Whoa. It said you can only improve what you measure. So we made it possible for teachers to measure in real time what they simply previously could not. That's now allowing us to create an impact at a scale that has never been seen before.
So every child feels like a first bencher. Check. Every child feels like this is the most fun, engaging, and interactive class they've been in. Check. Every child feels like they're grasping every concept and progressing like never before. Check. So, mission accomplished? Actually, no. We were missing something really important. We believe for learning to be really transformative, every child needs to be truly recognized and rewarded with just the right kind of nudges at the right times. In the offline world, this used to happen by chance. We all remember how our teachers used to throw chalk at us and say, "Dhyan kahan hai tumhara?" just to kind of get our attention back to the class. Or sometimes even words of positive encouragement like, "Shabash, you're doing great." But these kind of nudges rarely are precise. Wave 2.0 changes that. Let's see how.
So let's see who can answer this question.
The force applied by a man's weight is distributed equally. Therefore, the force applied by one nail is reduced.
Education has come a long way from using chalks as nudges. This is the utopia that we imagine, and today a Wave 2.0 class makes this once imagined but perfect state of learning an absolute reality for millions of students. Yet another reason why our students love Wave 2.0.
Wave changed what students thought a classroom could be. But it did not stop there. Later on, we realized it also changed what teachers thought teaching could be. When I was teaching in the physical classroom, it was difficult to get the pulse of every student. There was no way of being sure whether the students were learning and absorbing everything. When we started Vedantu in 2014, it became even difficult to get the pulse of every student as students were sitting behind the screen. But with Wave 2.0, everything changed.
With Wave's deep insights today, the teachers of Vedantu can understand every student in much more detail. They can nudge the students based on their learning journeys. They can nudge the students when the students are understanding it or not, or students are engaged or not, or students are absorbing it or not.
This kind of pulse of the classroom was never possible before. But with the power of Wave 2.0, for the first time ever, it creates avenues for the teachers to tailor their lessons and engagement in the real time. Let us see how it works.
Hello, bachcho. Welcome to 2,347, 49, 53, 2,353 students. Welcome to all of you.
पहले डिवीजन फिर मल्टीप्लिकेशन समझे?
Thank you, ma'am. अरे, either तो I am an excellent teacher or you guys are very smart. No doubts at all. Okay, bachcho. I hope that you all enjoyed the class today.
Teachers in the physical classroom had to wait for months to get the feedback on how effective their teaching was. But with Wave 2.0, they get the feedback in the real time, which helps them modify the content on the go and also have pulse on hundreds of students.
And this is how we are making the real impact at scale possible. And we have come a long way.
But we are just getting started.
Today, we are seeing the right signals and the right kind of impact, seeds of which were actually sown way back in 2014.
Like we said, who would have thought that one day we would make learning 10x more engaging and effective, and that too at a fraction of a cost.
So that every single child in India could get the best learning that would eventually transform not just them, but their communities and our country as a whole.
It gives us the conviction to keep driving this impact at scale.
An impact that will outlast our lives.
We want to thank every single child, parent and teacher, along with every single Vedan who's been bold enough to walk this journey with us.
So that's all, folks. We can't wait to see you soon in the next edition of Vtopia.
Thank you.